Hello everybody and welcome to my review of what is now known as one of the biggest pop culture phenomenons of all time. This film is of course the Blair Witch Project. So let's get right into my review, guys. So the Blair Witch Project came out in 1999 and it has since become basically this huge pop culture phenomenon. And I don't think there's anything that I'm going to say in this review that'll surprise you. You can go online and see countless reviews, discussions, theories, fan spin-offs, sequels, actual sequels to this film. And there's so much mythology behind this film, so much viral marketing that went into it, and just so many plethora of reviews and opinions on this film. And a lot of them are very polarized. Some people call this film basically a gimmick, others call it a masterpiece, genius. But I came into this film kind of knowing that, so I think when you are a first-time viewer of this film, you have a different experience watching the film, especially since a lot of people, when they went to see the movie, they thought it was going to be it was a real thing because the viral marketing was just that strong. So yeah, I mean, I know that this information isn't new to you guys, so I'm going to tell you guys what my opinions were. As you know, I'm seeing this in 2017, knowing that everything here is completely fake. And that said, I found the Blair Witch Project to be an effectively scary film. That's one of the greatest things about the Blair Witch Project for me personally, and has been known for having this as being the greatest thing, is the very natural performances of the actors and actresses in this film. I mean, these are technically people who didn't have a lot of strong acting background. These aren't your big, primetime Oscar winner type actors. These are just kind of new actors, and despite that, their performances felt so real, so natural, and very fitting to the situations that their characters are going through, that there is not a second that you won't believe that what is happening feels authentic. And I can totally understand why, as a first-time viewer, when this film came out in 1999, when you don't know what is real and what you don't know what is real and what's not real, you would totally be freaked out at seeing this footage, especially since this is the first found footage film of its time. And with the viral marketing, you totally think this was real, because the actors in this film are so natural, so realistic, so authentic, that it really becomes difficult to discern this film from reality. It feels so real and so authentic, and that's due to those amazing performances in this film. One of the best parts about the Blair Witch Project is that the fear of the unknown is what makes this film so scary. There aren't a lot of necessarily jump scares in this film. There aren't a lot of creepy visuals even. Most of the film is actually just them being lost in the forest. And the reason I think that this movie is scary, I think, is a kind of a twofold reason that I personally can think of. One of the reasons is that the directors of this film and the writers of this film knew how to do what I called layering horror, where we take something very everyday, normal type of scary, such as getting lost in the woods, and layer that with the supernatural element. So now you have the audience's relatability with something that happens to them every day, a fear of the normal thing, something like getting lost, something that happens to us every single day, and then you basically notch it up with that supernatural element. So now you have the relatability of the audience, and now they're also intrigued in that supernatural element. And I think that's what the Blair Witch Project does so wonderfully, and it's kind of been known for, just being able to take such a normal situation and amp it up to that degree. And I think one of the craziest things about the Blair Witch Project, of course, is that, and this is a bit of a spoiler, and if you don't want to know this, you should skip ahead a few minutes, so I'll give you time to do that right now. But you never actually see the Blair Witch in this entire film. And so what makes this movie scary is most likely what you think the Blair Witch looks like, or what you think is going on, because as they say, the fear of the unknown is the greatest fear. And this has been something that's been said about the Blair Witch Project so often, but I think it has to be said every single time this film is brought up, just because it's such an integral aspect of this film, is that, fear of the unknown element, because the entire time you're scared of what you don't know. And I love that about this film. And there are even some shots where you're literally just staring at a dark screen and hearing these noises and them kind of freaking out in the background. And I think those are some of the most unsettling moments in this film, because you have no idea what's going on. So I think that the movie is really effective in that manner. Also, because of the cinematography being black and white, I think that also adds to this aura of kind of unsettlingness and kind of creepiness that really, really works and is effective for this film. To this day, I found myself kind of scared in this movie, not because of anything on screen, but because of what was technically off screen. So I think it really works in that regard even today. Ultimately, I think the Blair Witch Project does such a good job of building up tension and just notching up tension slowly, while also, crafting that tension around a very relatable premise. I mean, these actors, when they are, or these characters, I should say, when they're reacting to the situations that they're in, they're acting like how you or me would react, not in a very, and not in a way that would feel like it's dialogue, because a lot of this film, actually, if you look it up, was improvised. There isn't a whole lot of written dialogue in this film. They were just kind of told the premise about what's going to happen next in the story, in the very, simple story that it is, and the actors would often improvise the dialogue. So that's something really unique that this film brings. And ultimately, I think the Blair Witch Project is still a very effective film, and it's not very gimmicky in my opinion. I think it does a really good job of, crafting attention around something that's really relatable to you and me, because these guys are acting in such an authentic way about getting lost that we can relate. And then you have that supernatural element built on that to amplify that fear, and I think that's still really, really effective. Now, comparing this to, current found footage films, like I saw Phoenix Forgotten this year, Cloverfield, which I think is a really good found footage film. But in general, I think that none of those can really capture the magic that the Blair Witch Project brought. Because the current found footage films, they really do feel like a Hollywood movie. They're very stylized, the effects look cool. The camera that the actual character is using is like a professional movie camera. While the Blair Witch Project, with its grainy black and white footage and shaky footage, brought something that was very real, very authentic, that audiences couldn't discern from reality. And ultimately, I think also the experience of people who saw the Blair Witch Project for the first time and not being able to tell what's real, what's fake, can never really be replicated with these, future found footage films. I think that movie was such a unique experience and continues to be a unique experience because it feels so real, because it feels so authentic, and so far removed from, the Hollywood limelight per se. So for me, the Blair Witch Project is still effectively scary and a very, very well-made, tensely crafted horror film that is intelligently made, done with some excellent performances, through improvisation, and the film works. It really does. It's a tense, visceral, intense, film. It's lean and mean. I like it that its running time isn't too long, and it really is, the father of all found footage movies that come out now. Now, I don't want to say that these current found footage films are all bad. I think that there are some good ones, like Cloverfield, and I think that partially Paranormal Activity was also a bit inspired by the Blair Witch Project. But I think that Blair Witch Project is a classic film, and it still is really effective. So I'm going to give the Blair Witch Project an A, guys. I think that this movie is still really scary, still really awesome, and I hope you guys get a chance to check it out at some point. Thanks for watching, guys. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, do all those great things, and I'll have more videos coming out for you guys soon. So thanks for watching.